The Rick and Bubba Show. Believe it or not, we'll talk about remembering Robin Williams today. And Bubba just found a connection of Starland Vocal Band, Afternoon Delight, to Robin Williams in the movie Good Will Hunting.
How about that?
All right, it's been used in a ton of stuff.
Rick, also, did you, and this is what I said going to break, do you realize Starland Vocal Band, what their original name was?
Well, you've told me now, but I couldn't believe it.
Fat City.
Fat City, that's our
Isn't
name.
that funny?
Man, they might have violated something with us there. Fat City.
I think that was their only big hit, Rick. The only one I can find here. They had looked like 4 or 5 others that charted, but they never.
Did you tell me it won a
five.
Grammy?
Afternoon Delight won 2. It was nominated for 4, won 2 of them, and as recently, you'll love this. Gosh, I want to read this verbatim here, okay? Because you can get a kick out of this. In 2010, okay, 4 years ago, Billboard magazine listed Afternoon Delight as one of the 20 sexiest songs of all time.
Well, now that list may be right. Well, I didn't know this. Adler was telling me in the break room in the break. He said the TV show Arrested Development took on just what we're talking about. That somebody got up there. Was it their niece or daughter, Adler?
Niece.
With their niece, and was going to do karaoke and said, "Hey, let's do Afternoon Delight." And it was like a little girl, and they got about a quarter of the way into it, started realizing what the lyrics were saying. They tried to put the mic down and quit. She's still singing.
Rick, get this too. I love some of this history.
It was a catchy
on
little
things.
folk song. I didn't know it was so nasty.
The Starland Vocal Band also hosted a variety show on CBS.
That did
you
not
know
happen.
that?
That did not happen.
It ran for 6 weeks in the summer of 1977. Guess who was a writer and a regular on the show?
Who?
David Letterman.
No, he was not.
That's it.
On the Starland Vocal Band variety show?
Yep. That's
Gosh,
right.
this show comes up with stuff.
The band broke up in 81, unable to match their previous success.
Well, it was their American Pie, wasn't it?
It was. So there you go.
So
there's your little trivia
there it
this
is.
morning. You can share at the office.
On the 2-time Grammy award-winning Starland Vocal Band.
That's right.
There they are. The song is not about camping, just FYI.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that this morning. Rick, speaking of camping, Robin Williams. Wow. How about that?
But now, how did you tie that to camping?
It has
that
nothing.
movie
That-
RV?
that was just a little-
the movie RV?
That was just a little comedy relief for you guys to see if y'all were paying attention.
Do you know what, though? You could tie it to the movie RV.
Can I tell you, the movie RV, I didn't give it much.
Funny.
And I ended up watching it on, Netflix or something, and it was very funny. I did not give it enough.
Now,
what?
Just that segue. I'm just still entertained.
Well, I thought that.
I
Did
just
you
tied
like
it.
that?
I just tied it to camping.
Unbelievable.
Rick tied it
you
back,
didn't
but
say it.
Yeah, but I was having a little fun with y'all. Like, we'll say on the show, I got one word for you. Peanut butter, something like that.
Let that be.
See, that's
a good
funny
angle.
to
I'd
me.
stay with it.
But let that.
I mean, we've been doing it for 20 years. So.
Let's make that our new thing. I mean,
Just
how about
tie
this?
something together.
How about
Speaking of
this?
camping.
Speaking of cookies, how about Shark Week?
Yeah. Well, see, to me, that means you devour things
Right.
like we would devour cookies.
Yeah.
So you could tie it
That's true.
together
That's true.
somehow.
That's true.
But how about Robin Williams? And you know what? What a tragedy. 63 years old, probably one of the best-known comedians in the world, and had unbelievable success. If you run down his movies, it's
he wasn't
you'll be
just
here
some-
tomorrow sometime.
He wasn't just some stand-up comic.
No.
I mean, he's been in some of the biggest movies of all time.
He also did voice work on some of the best-known animated series of all time. Had numerous hits of comedy records, sold out shows, auditoriums. I mean, he kind of popped on the scene in my world, I guess, as Mork from Mork on Happy Days.
First time I ever saw him.
And boy, he hit that show with a lot of energy.
Nanu.
Yeah, I remember that.
You're not going to jump in here and try to mourn with us, are you? I hope.
Wow, I liked some of his movies. I just didn't like him in interviews.
Right. Is that
Wasn't huge on his stand-up either.
Right.
Well,
But I don't want him to die.
Well, I know that. I got that. But I mean, I would not be genuine
No, I'm not going to be. Yeah,
but I'm talking when I saw that yesterday that you weren't one of the first. People
I knew it
because you've never been a huge Robin Williams fan.
I like him in his movies.
You like him as an actor.
As an actor,
yeah. You don't like it because he won't come out of character when he does an interview.
Yeah, I would like to hear
because he's always talking.
I would like to hear where he grew up. You know,
where'd he go to high school?
Yeah,
what was he like in high school?
Yeah, stuff like that.
But let's break this down because I
remember it's Mark from Mark.
Yeah, I'm in a weird voice. Yeah.
You know how sometimes you know something.
He's dead, Greg.
You know how sometimes when you know something is true, but when it keeps getting confirmed over and over, you always analyze it again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like, because I
know you love Mrs. Doubtfire. I know that.
By the way, did you know they said one of the things that they talked about his career? Because some people were saying, well, his TV show that he tried to come back because he got in financial trouble. The TV show didn't make it. And they said, that's really not accurate. He had 3 other things coming up that were going to be huge.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them was Mrs. Doubtfire, too.
We're going to see 3 of them, guys.
You have the
They're in post-production right
now.
Oh,
he'd already done them.
He's already done 3. We're going to see 3 movies.
Yeah. Not Mrs. Doubtfire, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
that's not.
It wasn't done yet.
What is
that
in
one wasn't
post-production?
done.
What is it?
The Night of the Museum, Teddy Roosevelt. I guess that's a sequel or whatever to the first one.
It's a sequel to the second one, actually.
Okay.
Mary Secret of the
It's
Moon.
a sequel to the first one, but he was Teddy Roosevelt in the second one.
Okay.
So this will be the second.
You were up on that?
Yeah, I've seen all the Night of the Museum. Those are good movies.
Are they?
Yeah.
Because I've never.
Like your kids are a perfect age to really enjoy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except Braden, don't put a shark in.
Yeah.
It's the other story behind that one. Right?
Merry Freaking Christmas will be out in December.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. And then he'll be voice of Dennis the dog in absolutely anything. All of those that I just mentioned are in post-production. The filming is complete.
And they were going to do Mrs. Doubtfire, and that was not complete.
Correct.
So it wasn't like the TV series left him with no job.
Right.
He had other things that were actually doing well. But you look and you see some things that we see that are common. 3 marriages, which means 2 times his stuff had to be divided in half. Okay.
Which is formula immediately for financial disaster.
Right. Well, you see that. There was some money thing, but he went into a depression that he couldn't come out of. They said that's what really ultimately led to his final decision. But let's go back to that and talk about that. And I know depression is a very real thing. I really do. And that I even got people that responded. I put something out on Twitter and talking about, that everybody wants peace, and it doesn't matter how much worldly success have. If you don't have peace, then it's all fleeting. I mean, I watched the video of him when he was finally had that moment in his career where he'd already been very successful. There was still more to come, but there was a moment where he finally broke out of the, hey, I'm the funny, zany guy that did Mork from Mork, and was given an Academy Award for his job in Good Will Hunting. And you thought, I bet he did, when he went home that night, he probably said, you know what, I've made it.
Mountaintop.
I'm here. Yep. But what happens is, see, that moment, that night, it went away. It's over. Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, the things that the pinnacles that we've been able to see in our lives, but they're over. And some people go, well, they can never take that away from you. Well, that's true, but it's still over. It's fleeting. Everything the world gives you just vanishes. Solomon talked about that. He wrote his final book of, hey, I've experienced it all. He said, this stuff is a vapor. All this stuff the world have you, it's just like trying to hang on to a vapor, and because it just vaporizes. And so you have to have something bigger than that. There has to be something that is eternal. If all you have is temporal, it really it's like enjoying a good meal, but then the meal's gone. The meal does not last forever. Once it's consumed, it's over.
And we don't know all the details yet. We'll learn more about it. But you're right. There'll be so many shows today saying what happened. Right. What happened? Why did this happen? If it is like it appears to be, and I'll underline that, there is no mystery here. We know exactly what happened.
It's happened over and over and over again.
That's right. There's no mystery. And Solomon talked about it, and a lot of other people have talked about it, and we just don't seem to learn the lesson from it.
We'll be back. More Rick and Bubba next.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.